All right, everybody, welcome to the Freedom Revolution call, Wednesday night, August 8th. I've got my tribe with me tonight, and I'm so excited to be able to introduce everybody to all of you in just a moment. And what I want to say first is I just want to really welcome all of you to the Freedom Revolution and what that means to me. For me, and you're probably wondering who I am, and I am going to introduce myself in a second. But for me, the Freedom Revolution really is about choices. It's being able to make choices that are important to you, to your family, and to your community. And I think that's what this Freedom Revolution, the Healthy Living Revolution, allows us all to do. So, number one, we are, both Chris and I, are really honored to be hosting the call tonight because the way that we see it is this is a collaboration of a number of, I don't even want to say top earners, a number of people that are very serious about what we do in the sense of understanding that we make big impact in the world. And those impactors, those people that change lives have come together to create something for the entire Juice Plus world. And I don't know how often that happens in what I call the real world, because we're in this amazing Juice Plus bubble. It's our real world, but it's not necessarily the real world that we see out there. So I just really want to thank everybody for organizing this, and I want to thank all the people that have volunteered to put their time in. It's been truly amazing. And again, I'm Nikki Cotton, and Chris Cotton is here tonight. We have been with the Juice Plus Company before it was even the Juice Plus Company. We've been here for 28 years, and we've really, truly had an absolutely amazing journey. I'm going to share just a little bit of it with you now. But, you know, when we were introduced to this company, we were in a very desperate spot. Chris and I had opened up our own business. We opened up our own business because we wanted to own our time. And we thought if we owned a business, we would own our time. We had plans to travel. We had plans to be with our children at all of their events and have them not be in daycare. We had plans of spending time with family. We had plans of having an amazing house that we could have guests at. And where we found ourselves 10 years into our plan was both of our girls were in daycare. Chris was working 16 hours a day. I was working 8 to 10. Sometimes I couldn't even remember what daycare my kids were at, and I ended up at the wrong one. That was not the plan. And I think a lot of people in life have a plan that doesn't always work out. And at the end of the 10, 11 years, we found ourselves $250,000 in debt with that possibility of losing our home. So when Chris brought this Juice Plus company to us, I thought he was a little bit crazy. And I wanted something that was going to be very secure. All I cared about at that point was security. I wanted to know we had insurance. I wanted to know that my kids were going to be fed. And I didn't want the worry of running my own business and not knowing what to do. And thank goodness he was persistent, and we really did our due diligence and looked at this company and found that they were going to be there. They were going to have our back. So we stepped into this. You know, this month is the Daring Greatly month, being vulnerable month. Being vulnerable, according to Maraya Brown, is stepping into something when you don't know the end results, but doing it with all of your heart. And that's what we did. But the reason it was easier to do that than what we were doing before is that we had Jay Martin as our president, and we trusted his heart and we trusted his vision. And that's really what guided the way for us. And so flash forward 28 years, not only did we not lose our home, they didn't take our children away from us, which was a pretty good thing. But we also were able to put our girls through college. No student loans for them, no loans on our part. They both chose out-of-state colleges, so it was like going to private school. We were able to go to all of their events just like we wanted to as soon as we really put those first pieces in place with this company. And it didn't happen overnight, but we really followed a system. And we're going to talk about that a little bit tonight, but we followed a system that really guaranteed us a place in the Juice Plus world. And what that did for our family is it created a stable family for us, and it allowed us to make great impact in the world. And so we did travel all over the world with our girls. And we are able to live. Remember, I started this with the Freedom Revolution and choices. In the summertime, we live in Ashland, which we love. It's Southern Oregon. And in the winter, I like to say we summer near Santa Barbara. And we have a very rustic cabin 45 minutes away on a lake that Chris grew up on that was always on his bucket list. So it's this company and this system that's provided that for us. And the Healthy Living Revolution part of it is what I'm going to have Chris and Michael and Maraya and Heidi talk about. And the way our team looks at the Healthy Living Revolution, thank you to Maraya for really conceiving this and sharing this with us, is there are 4 doors. The first door of the Healthy Living Revolution, under the umbrella of our Freedom Revolution, is your physical, personal health. How do we see what is optimal health? And how do we get there? And how do we know we aren't there? The second piece of that journey of the Healthy Living Revolution is a healthy community. And Michael Brown is going to talk about our healthy community. And that includes our company and how that company becomes a community and how it ripples effect to all of us. And then the third door for our Healthy Living Revolution is to have financial security. Chris will be talking about that. And then Maraya, who came up with the fourth one, which makes so much sense, is our personal self journey and health. And she has an amazing story to share. So we're going to start with Heidi Biggs, who's going to share her Juice Plus experience as well as our Juice Plus product line so you can understand what optimal health is. Really quickly, Heidi, we just celebrated her first 4th of July as an American citizen. This year, we were able to be at 4th of July with Heidi. So happy she's an American citizen, and she's going to share her story. Heidi, take it away.
All right, thank you, Nikki. Yeah, that was a really fun 4th of July, I can tell you that. First time in Lake Tahoe. Amazing. So yeah, my name is Heidi Biggs, and I am originally from the UK. My husband and I moved to the US 13 years ago, and we reside in Carpinteria, California, which is just a little bit south of Santa Barbara. And so my journey, I want to share, first of all, with this company. My husband had a conversation on a wave with a guy who has white hair, and that conversation changed the course of our lives forever. And I will be forever grateful for that conversation my husband had that day. You see, he's a stand-up paddleboard surfer, and he was surfing, saw this guy with white hair catching every single wave, and was like, oh my gosh, how is this guy doing it? Like, he's clearly a lot older than me. And some of the other guys out there on the ocean that had, like, you know, washboard abs, six-pack abs, they weren't able to keep up with this guy, my husband included, and he was kind of mad about that. Anyway, he finally caught up with them, and they got talking on a wave, and my husband realized he was our neighbor, and he asked him what his secret was. His secret to being able to, you know, being so fit and vibrant and healthy at clearly an older age. And he said it was these plant powders, these concentrated fruits and vegetables in a capsule called Juice Plus. And he'd been taking it at that point for about 22 years. Well, my husband has a degree in sports science. He's a soccer coach. He worked in the premiership level in the UK. And he really understood the importance of performance and recovery and how nutrition plays a huge role in that. So he immediately, with a brilliant open mind that he has, wanted to know more. And when he did have that conversation with, it was the mighty Chris Cotton that's on this call right now. When he had that conversation, he was so excited to come back and share it with me because I have digestive issues. And my digestive issues prevent me from eating very many fruits and vegetables. So he knew that I was a bit deficient in certain nutrients. But when he came home and shared it with me, I shut him down. Like Nikki, I just thought he was freaking nuts. I thought it was one of those things, but let's face it, I just was really small-minded, completely cynical, closed-minded, skeptical, whatever you want to call it. I had my own picture of what I thought one of those things was, but really had no education about it. I didn't know what one of those things was. Anyway, I didn't give him the time of day, but it was after building a relationship with Chris and Nikki and really getting to hear and know and trust them and hear the hearts of how much they really care about people. And then hearing two doctors speak that I really actually understood, okay, I really, really need this. I also have a personal training background. I've done 6 bodybuilding competitions. So the science behind these things are really, really important. And you ask Siri, Juice Plus is the most thoroughly researched whole food nutrition product on the world, in the planet. You just ask Siri, she'll tell you that. So before I share exactly my experience, this is what Juice Plus looks like. This is what these amazing 30 whole foods in a capsule look like. These are the amazing capsules themselves. And they also come in a chewable form. These are great little handy packets that I just throw in my purse and I munch on in the afternoon. They're vine ripened, which is really big deal these days. It takes, most of the food supply that we buy these days is, picked 2 weeks in advance. So it's not getting that vital nutrition at the very, very end when we're supposed to pick it. And it is pulverized and dehydrated and encapsulated. One of the things that's really important to me, and so this was one of the boxes that these capsules ticked, is that I don't like putting anything that's inorganic. So I don't like putting anything in my body that has herbicides or pesticides. Organic's a huge deal. I've been gluten-free for 26 years. I don't do dairy. And I don't like to put anything other than food, no supplements in my body. And this is nutrition. It has a nutrition label, so you can see that. And it, like I said, it is the most thoroughly researched whole food nutrition product in the world. Then he told me about the shake mix. So we have this amazing plant powder, whole food plant protein mix, which has 20 different plants in, you guys. So combined with the capsules and the protein powder, you got 50 plants. Well, then I started getting really excited. Okay, I can't wait to try this, especially knowing that this is a really low glycemic food and is the same glycemic index as broccoli. But we have a program, and it's vegan also. And it doesn't, for years, actually, I have to tell you this, for years, I searched as a bodybuilder for an amazing protein powder that wasn't chalky, it wasn't earthy, and it was plant-based. And they always tasted so awful. They were so bad and just really upset my stomach. But these have been, oh my gosh, a lifesaver for me. And we have a program called Shred 10, which is basically 2 of these a day and the capsules. And you can actually speak to the person that invited you and they'll be able to share more about that. But I had such a profound experience. I had no idea of the experience I actually was going to get until I did this for 4 months. Not only did I start going, well, first of all, I was going to the bathroom maybe 2 to 3 times a week and started going every single day, sometimes 2 to 3 times a day. You guys, it was life-changing for me. But also I had increased bone density. When my dentist did the second dental implant because of poor dentistry in the UK, he said that he had to use a 4th drill, which they only normally use 3, and that was specifically for dense bone, and they only normally use that on children. So the other profound experience that I had, aside from those 2 things, was since using these amazing omegas. So, the only reason why fish have omegas is because they eat algae in the ocean. And we have the first omega of its kind. Not only is it because it has the broad spectrum, it has 3, 5, 6, 7, and 9, but it's completely plant-based. These little orange flavored, you guys. They don't taste of fish because there's no fish. They cut out that. These are orange flavored omegas. And they have buckthorn seed berry, pomegranate seed, tomato seed, raspberry seed, and algae from the ocean. But these have really helped with my my menopausal hot flashes. And then, of course, the other star of the show is the tower garden that you can see behind me, the vertical growing system. Now, the one thing I couldn't stop doing when I first had that amazing experience with going to the bathroom every single day, and I have so many friends that have digestive issues, I knew that I had to share this. And I was just naturally sharing that. I'm a hairstylist, and I was naturally sharing it in the hair salon. And, it's just been such a game changer as far as having a plan B. Being a hairstylist, my neck and shoulders hurt like crazy at the end of every single day. And my chiropractor was saying for years, when are you going to go part-time, Heidi? When are you going to go part-time? And I didn't have an answer because I didn't have a plan B. I didn't know. But sharing this and really helping people get healthy and impacting their lives has just been that fulfilling piece also that's been missing in my life. And I now have a plan B. And I'm now part-time as a hairstylist. I'm so excited in the next year or two to be able to retire from hair and live the life of my dreams. And it's just given me the freedom to travel and do all the things that for years I just only dreamed of. And so I'm just so excited that I get to be part of this amazing mission. And this family right here, they just mean the world to me. They're my brothers, sisters, and I love you guys.
And it turns out that Chris and I live next door to Heidi. They were our neighbors, unbeknownst to us. And if it weren't for the Wave and Juice Plus, we would not all be really great friends. And Heidi is just inches away from QNMD, and we're so excited and proud for her and Lloyd. So with that said, I don't know about you guys, but when I am continuing to purchase products from one company over and over again, I want to know that the community that they've created and the community that they are as a company has integrity and that has my back and is interested in quality and all of those things that are important to me in healthy community. And so at that point, it made sense to me to know more about who's behind Juice Plus, who's taking care to make sure there's quality that's coming into us, and the community that we are building is coming from top to bottom with heart. That whole idea of one team, one mission. And Michael Brown, who's a physical therapist and a dad of 3 amazing little ones, is going to share a little bit about our community and a little bit about our Juice Plus company with us. And Michael, take it away.
Awesome. Thanks, Nikki and Heidi. I love hearing you speak. You've got such heart and knowledge. I love it. So thank you so much for having me on the call. And, I just want to share my own little story is 11 years ago, I just finished my own bodybuilding competition. I was, at what I thought was the apex of my health, eating a couple chicken breasts a night and a pound of pasta and relying on caffeinated products for energy. And I thought that was what healthy looked like in my 20s. I just thought that's what everybody did, And then fortunately, someone cared enough about me to introduce these plant powders, and it radically transformed my life. What I mean by that is it took my physical therapy and strength and conditioning specialist mind from going to GNC for health to looking at what's on my plate and what's on the end of my fork for health. We started flooding our bodies with plant powders. At the time, I was currently converting my body from being a bodybuilder to being a high endurance athlete training for the World Championship Ironman. My wife, Maraya, took our nutrition at the helm, revamped our entire program. We were flooding with fruit and veg, flooding with the plant powders, and I was able to train harder, longer, farther, and recover faster. So as an athlete, that meant I was able to have that much more of a mechanical advantage because all of the moving parts were moving the way that they were supposed to, and they weren't breaking down. I wasn't getting sick like some of my other competitive athletes. And the really cool thing is I started not just was I taking the plant powders, it transformed what I put in my body on the plate, but also transformed the way I looked at health. I got rid of the caffeinated products because I was able to create the energy from within because my body had the necessary nutrients. Pretty amazing. And just like a good book or a good story or a good movie, we were having great results. We shared with those that we love. We found out that we could create a residual income with this to supplement our physical therapy income. Whereas physical therapy, I was trading dollars for hours. This we could do when we want, with who we want, how we want, etc. And it really was a no-brainer for us. We say that with regards to the plant powder nutrition, the same nutrition that I used as a high endurance athlete, we use now to raise amazing children. We don't let our children leave the home without their Juice Plus, just like we don't let our children drive in a vehicle without their seatbelts. Click. Okay, so that being said,
I like it.
We're forever grateful for this opportunity. And, I've heard many times at conferences and trainings that this is a personal growth and development program cleverly disguised as a business. What I want to share is that this is a community bubble of vulnerability, authenticity, joy, and love, cleverly disguised as a company. Okay? I am so proud.
Never heard that before.
I'm so back. That's an original. I'm so proud of the fact that our children are growing up in what is normal, is like aunties and uncles who are like-minded, health-conscious, mission-driven, wanting to make an impact in the world. When our children come up to them, they acknowledge them, they make eye contact, and they know each other. And this is the tribe that we are part of. That's part of our community, and it means so much to me. I want to talk a little bit more about the company, and there's a quote from the book, The Peaceful Warrior, that I want to bring out, which is, there's no greater purpose than providing a service to others, and there's no greater company out there than this company. Our company, inspired by the foundation set forth by our founder and president, Jay Martin, who's been at the helm for 40 years.
49.
49, thank you.
Jay Wise.
His mission statement is to inspire healthy living around the world. It's the perfect example and role model for myself, our family, and also the community. As a physical therapist, I can impact health locally, one-on-one, but that time is limited based on insurance authorization. Okay. With this plant powder global franchise, I can impact the entire globe from now until forever. Okay. When they get started with us, they get us as their coaches forever. We don't have an insurance company saying, okay, time to stop. And this opportunity doesn't just apply to us as healthcare providers, but also everybody. This is the impact we can make globally. The piece that inspires me most about this company, that's aligned with Jay Martin's vision statement, is to create a stable and lasting company to help as many people as possible realize their dreams. That's in alignment with that statement. There's no greater purpose than being of service to others. That's what we're doing. We are making other people's dreams a priority. We help support them. When I think about this community, this is a community where you say, this is what I want to create in my life. And the feedback we receive is, awesome, how can I support you? Nobody ever says, well, gosh, why would you want to do the World Championship Ironman? It's not a community of doubt. This is a community of believers, supporters, and lovers. So what does our company do to give back? Obviously we have our healthy living revolution and those tools that Heidi talked about, but we are also on a healthy giving revolution. How about transforming future generations? We've got over 1 million families receiving these plant powders for free. The children are receiving plant powders for free. It is literally changing the face of health on this planet. Okay, that's a pretty significant impact. But wait, there's more. I had to throw that in there. So that's how the Healthy Starts for Family program. How about when there's natural disasters and crises and stuff like that in the community or other countries? Well, our company is dedicated to donating over 10 million meals through Volunteers of America to make sure that people who are going through crises have the proper nutrition to move them forward. Okay, and then God forbid your child has a medical crisis where you have to take them to St. Jude's Medical Hospital, and like I said, God forbid that ever happens. Our company is the #1 sponsor, raising over $10 million per year through the St. Jude's Marathon to make sure that there is what's called a target house available. So that way, if, like I said before, God forbid one of your children has to be in that medical facility receiving medical care, the target house allows families to be able to stay for free. And I don't know about you, but as a dad, making sure that I can be present while my children are getting the care that they need is high priority on my list. Okay. And then the last piece I really feel like I need to share about how amazing this company is, so let's say there's a community that doesn't have access to fresh fruit and veg. Well, we are committed to making sure that every single Boys and Girls Club in this country has a free tower garden to be able to grow their own produce. I mean, they're planting the seed, they're creating microeconomies, etc. I mean, it is literally transforming the streets. And to quote Stephen Ritz, he says, it is easier to raise healthy children than it is to fix broken adults. So that's what we're doing. We are transforming future generations. So I'm forever grateful for this community, for this bubble where everyone is treated as family. Our children call everybody auntie and uncle. By simply walking in the room, we know that we are going to be embraced with love. People are going to hold us accountable to achieving our dreams. And there are maps that simple step forward maps that we can follow to create our dreams. It's not just, oh yeah, we believe in you. It's, okay, we believe in you. Here's the next step. This is what we're going to do to help support you. So I'm forever grateful that this is the community that our children are growing up in. I'm forever grateful for this community here that you see on the screen. And I hope that you'll be able to tap into the tribe energy, because it is full of hot, hot energy.
Whoa. All right, Michael, thank you so much. And Chris, we are getting down to the wire with you and Maraya still waiting to share, but we have some important stuff to share with all of you. That's what I know. So Chris, if you would talk a little bit about having a healthy financial outlook, because remember, there was 4 areas: health, personal health, community health, financial health, and personal self-development in terms of being healthy. So you're going to take on the financial part for us. A wise leader.
Right. Thank you, Nikki. And I see that we like to do this in 30 minutes. That gives 5 minutes left. Can we go 35? I'll do 5 and Maraya can wrap it.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay, great. So the good news is, hi everybody. It's exciting to be here, and thank you, Heidi and Michael, for bringing the energy. Nikki already told you our story, so I'm going to cut short a lot of that. We were looking for that freedom in traditional business, ended up in bankruptcy. In reality, I used to think that was the worst thing that ever happened to me, to us, but it might have been the best. But I will tell you, when I've been an athlete all my life, make it happen kind of person, and at a certain age, when you have a 4-year-old and a 1-year-old and you're about to lose your house, it's a scary time. I went from a make it happen kind of person to what happened, and I'm do whatever it takes to what do I do? So luckily I found this company and I did my due diligence. And in January of 91, we went to work, and in 90 days, we put some things in place that are still paying us today. And you've heard about what a wonderful community and company that we have. So I'm just going to jump forward and let you know that, well, first of all, I've been accused of being a professional recreationologist. And let me explain what this has really done for our life and the thousands of other lives. It's allowed us to design a life the way we want it. So yes, I work this mission around my play. And some people I don't think understand that, but I believe that play is an undervalued expression of freedom. It's an undervalued expression of freedom. So we have the freedom to work where we want, when we want, with whom we want. And we love that. And we have this incredible, unique model of a business called a virtual franchise. And it's a hybrid. We took franchising, which is really, at its essence, a brand name product and a tried and proven system. Juice Plus, is that a brand name product? The #1 selling encapsulated whole food product in the world? I think so. The most researched, as Heidi said. We definitely have the brand name product, and we have this system, this freedom revolution that you're hearing about tonight. Direct sales, it's just building relationships, talking mouth to mouth. Corporate America, we took a little page from Corporate America, I think the best page, which is the benefit package. We have a benefit package that I'm not going to go into at length, but it's huge. Major medical, hospitalization, dental, prescription drugs, tuition fund for the kids, Christmas bonus, and up to $3,000 a month expense allowance. So it's a valuable package, and we're independent contractors, so I don't think there's another networking business that has that kind of thing. And that's the fourth area, a global networking opportunity. 25 countries, exponential pay plan. And a lot of people don't understand what residual income is. We mention it, but people don't really absorb it. They don't embody it. So I have this definition that hopefully will help you really understand. My definition of residual income is that you have the capacity to be paid for the rest of your life on your next conversation. And think about it in how we're impacting health for people or their financial situation. One conversation, like I had on a wave with Lloyd, and now Heidi and Lloyd are enjoying a different lifestyle, and they're impacting thousands of people themselves. One conversation, that's residual. It's like the concentric circles that happen when you drop a rock in a lake. So the virtual franchise, here's another little kind of impressive thing about this. We pay $50 a year. What do you get for $50 a year? You get a company that's 48 years old and has a track record of bringing life-enhancing products to the marketplace, 3 out of 5 of which have been #1 in the world. You have that company that makes sure the product is manufactured in a pristine manner. It makes sure that they warehouse it. You share your enthusiasm with people about changing people's lives, making a difference on the planet, and then the company ships the product, bills the customer, collects from them, sends you a check every month, and then takes care of all your accounting for everything that happens on your team. All of this for $50 a year. It's absolutely incredible. It gives us the freedom to choose a lifestyle that we want and to make an impact on the planet. And I honestly tell you, I think we are being the change that we seek on the planet. It is that huge for us. So I'm excited to be doing it. Back to you, Nikki.
Wow, Chris, you did an amazing job. And we're going to shift right over to Maraya Brown, who is a certified nurse midwife from Yale. She's going to tell you her story. It's profound. And what's profound for me is, number one, the friendship that we have developed over the course of the last year and a half. What's profound for me is the learning that I get from Maraya and Michael. What's profound for me is watching them create team. It's absolutely magical. So Maraya, we're listening with our ears and we're ready. Our antennas are up.
Thank you, Nikki. And I really want to honor everyone's time. I know we all live very productive lives, and I get it that we're running it slightly over, so I'll be as brief as I can. But, you know, we've already touched on this vehicle being a source of transformation from a health perspective, the potential to really design what your financial livelihood looks like, and the connection with community. And what I was going to touch on is the journey of self-discovery. Just like you heard, it really is a personal development program cleverly disguised as a franchise. And I am a Yale-educated certified nurse midwife, and I really believe food should be our medicine, medicine should be our food. So it was a no-brainer for me. I had a very profound experience in my own body from a health perspective. But, you know, the idea of being a health food agent and having the opportunity to share plant powders with the world was just a no-brainer for me. What I realized at the beginning was I had what I call ITC syndrome, I'm too cool, or ITB syndrome, I'm too busy. I was working 100-hour work weeks, and although I wanted to design my life, I allowed my life to get in the way of designing it, and it was good enough. And then we found ourselves pregnant, an amazing opportunity to go up to Juneau, Alaska for 3 months, bought a car, they were going to pay for our move, we're camping our way up through the Alcan Highway, pregnant with our first baby, and I started to miscarry while camping. And we were in a very remote place, and it was devastating. We then landed in Juneau, and they said, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry, we actually don't have a job for you. So we were literally left without a baby, jobless, homeless, uninsured, and no income to speak of, except for maybe, you know, $400 to $500 residual income that we had created in kind of this side hobby. And that's when we looked at each other and said, this is not happening again. So we ramped things up and we said, okay, how do we get over the ITC syndrome? And how do we see this as a gift to really talk about the gift of plant powder and the gift of taking control of your own financial livelihood through a franchise that's only $50 a year. And within 1 year, we had generated enough residual income to bring me home, because there we were pregnant again, and I got to give birth to our first baby. And I've actually been home since. I still work as a nurse practitioner, but just as much as little as I would like. Sometimes it's only 5 hours a week. I've been on now maternity leave for 15 months because we just gave birth to our third baby. It has been the foundation for my prenatal nutrition. There have been no prenatal vitamins in this body. We do not have a vitamin deficiency. We have a whole food deficiency. But then life got in the way a bit. We decided to move. We were living in Hawaii at the time. We decided to move to Oregon. And we just took a little bit of a break. We allowed the residual income to keep coming in. And for 2 years, we got paid every month for the entire 2 years. We continued to write off our home expenses because we had a home-based business. And at the end of the 2 years, I wouldn't suggest it for those that want to take on a business for yourselves, because when we got back in, we were at the back of the line, but we had the taste of what it looks like to have worked a little bit more upfront for the sake of long-term journey and that residual income piece. When we re-engaged, it was my husband that said, we're doing this. I have a glass ceiling as a physical therapist. I don't like the reality of our family not being able to be together. I have bigger dreams than this. And I wasn't exactly ready. He said, we're doing this. And that was when the Shred 10 program came out. Holy macaroni, my health journey through the Shred 10 program, very briefly, I had had 8 years of daily pain in my neck. A neurosurgeon had just told me I needed complete reconstructive surgery on my spine. Now, 2.5 years in, shredding every month, guess what, y'all? Pain is gone. But the bigger piece is the self-discovery piece. I had to get over myself again and allow myself to allow my husband to take the lead and say, okay, I trust you. You say this is the way, let's go for this. And then my sister engaged and we got to really do it together. But then we created a community of people, locking arms with people that we love and having to really look at ourselves and how we exist in the world. We aligned with the coach who taught us about the value of affirmations and the value of staying focused on a dream, engaging our children in that dream. And it has just transformed. In 1 year, we've increased our earnings by 400%. We are engaging with our children and they have big dreams just like we do. We are on the brink of retiring my husband from physical therapy. So now we get to just say, all right, what is it that we want? Right now we're building for our manatee trip. We have a conference in Tampa, Florida in October, and we as a family are going to go swim with manatees. And so the kids are involved and they know they get to build for this as well. In the world of personal development, the last thing I wanted to add is I don't think I was born on this planet saying, I'm going to go out and share plant powders with the world. But I know that I'm a midwife. I know that I want to impact health and I want to hold people's hands, particularly women. I want to hold their hands through life to help them to surrender, help them to trust. And what I've found is I'm doing that through this vehicle. And along the lines, I get to do quote unquote telemedicine, meaning I get to do those consults from the cyber world. And we have the time freedom and the geographic freedom, and we're building the financial freedom. Now we are just about at the top level where we get the full benefits package. Corporate America benefits worth $30,000 a year. Health benefits, need I go on. But the last piece is the vulnerability piece. I grew up in one of those households where I was taught you do not depend on someone else. You do not ask for help. And so the beauty of this is it's gifting me the vulnerability to be able to say, you know what? If we're going to build a community and we're going to build a tribe, we're playing as part of a team. And so we are going to do this with others, and it's okay. I'm safe and I'm okay, and we're going to support one another and we are going to lift one another up, because one without their health has but one dream. Someone with their health has many. So we have our health and we have big, big dreams to travel the world utilizing this vehicle. So there's so much more that I can say, but I'm going to cut it at there. And thank you, Nikki, for letting us share.
Absolutely. I want to thank Chris and Michael and Maraya and Heidi for sharing tonight, and for all of you out there that are being patient with us tonight with the start and with a little bit of a long finish. But I think that the time is worthy of us and all of you to understand what this freedom revolution is, and the gift, the magnitude of the gift that we have is so far surpasses anything that I could have ever imagined that I would be doing in my life by impacting this many people and sharing our lives together. So I want to thank all of you. We want to thank all of you for being on the call tonight. I'm going to stop the recording now. I see that there's a raised hand. I'm going to answer that, but I'm going to stop the recording. Hey, you gamers, keep on with the 90-day game plan. Check out the work of the day. Check out the trainings. They're awesome. And love you guys, Jeff and Ken, for starting this. Thank you and good night.